Today we have Pretorius, founder of Jester Jester Radio. He's an online personal trainer. He's a classic men's physique athlete, and just happy to have him here. Welcome, Jester.
Guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, wait, it's fucking good to have you on.
It's cool to be on someone else's podcast.
Yeah,
it's dope.
Actually, about to say, bro, how exactly did you get into podcasting? Because you're literally the only that we know that in South Africa at least.
I was looking. I always enjoyed watching podcasts for myself, and I always enjoyed, listening to podcasts when I was training. So it's just educational. It's nice to hear people's story. It's nice to just the audio of it. I really enjoy, and also the video aspects as well. But I kind of just always used to listen or watch podcasts, mainly like Joe Rogan. I got a lot of
of course.
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
So I used to really enjoy the way he did things, and that's why I was kind of like, I don't really see anyone in South Africa doing this. Why not just try it, and why not just see where it goes?
Yeah. Oh, bro, it's fucking cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And it's like afterwards, you just feel happier. You feel you're more inspired. Like it's just nice to just sit down and talk to people.
And like you said, like everybody, and especially in the bodybuilding game, everybody has their own story. So sometimes it's just nice to sit down and chat and find out what, how they started, how they got into
and
it.
really, like everyone started differently. It's very cool. And like you said, really, you learn shit. Especially when like the guys that you've had, like Arnold, that was supposed to be on this podcast, but he didn't come. But don't stress.
Maybe one day when it's bigger.
Yeah. And but it's just cool to fucking learn from people like him. I'm sure you didn't watch the podcast, but I'm sure you learned some cool shit from him.
You're gonna have to go watch and then find out.
No, well,
No, definitely, I did learn a lot.
No way, bro. And so tell me, obviously, I know you're like a busy motherfucker. Everyone can see. So obviously, you got the Jester Radio, you got everything. How do you like fit in also training and competing and?
But to be honest, I enjoy being busy, but I don't think anyone should. No one's too busy to be like, yo, that guy's busy.
Exactly.
No one's busy enough actually, and I think that's also why I always try to push myself to find something more to do. That's also why I was doing at the start of the podcast, because I was like, you know what, like my business is doing well, my competing is doing well, but what can I, how can I bring more value to people that follow me? How can I, just do something a little bit extra and something that it's an unsaturated market. In the world, obviously, there's tons of podcasts, but in South Africa, there wasn't really anyone doing it. So I was like, you know what, that's a little bit extra work that I have to put in, the editing of it, just literally sitting down, preparing for the guests, making sure that, even just messaging people to make sure you get guests. And it's a lot of admin that goes into it and a lot of admin afterwards on, post-production. But it's something exciting, and it's cool to just sit down with people that you probably would never have met if you didn't have it.
Yeah, that's also true, bro. I mean, like, we know even from the people that are going to come in this following month. I mean, I would never have met them,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's fucking cool. So obviously, I agree with you big time. Like, you can never be too busy, But like, I don't know if you watched the last podcast with Mickey. He kind of explained like his day to day and like what he does from the minute he wakes up to the minute he goes to sleep. It's like fucking, it's crazy, bro. So yeah, what's your day?
I wake up at 5. Then I go straight to the study. Because I've got 2 businesses. So I wouldn't say my main business, but my main business is social media management and marketing and everything. So it's called Jester Media.
Yes.
So I've kept the whole Jester. So like the main business is Jester Holdings, and then I've got the 2 sub businesses. Yeah. So that is basically like Chaz Everett, right? I'll do their social media. I've got other like salons and stuff that I do their social media for, and it's just a business that I started because my dad was in the industry, and I kind of started with him, and then I just got clients from that. So that was cool, and that has helped me in terms of being busier, because I've always wanted to be busier. And so I basically wake up at 5 till 7. I will work and do the social media aspect of it for like 2 hours there. Then I'll go like downstairs, shower. Then I will make coffee, come back up and work from like it's all about 12, and then so now during lockdown I've been training at 12 to 1, because that's when the private gym gave us our time slot.
Okay.
So then I'd come back, make lunch, then get back to work, and then I would sometimes, if I wanted another session and I could, then I would. Otherwise I would have probably done cardio in the morning, and then I'll go do a little bit of work. And then normally when I watch TV in the evening with my fiance, like I'll have my laptop there, do extra work, so that I could still spend time with her, still watch TV, and then still get more work done.
Yeah, so you can kind of live a normal-ish life, you know.
Yeah, but also I forgot about the podcast in between. So like obviously podcasts don't actually make you money, but they grow your business. So I guess it's not directly bringing your clothing company more money, but it is obviously promoting it. So
yeah, it is, bro.
In long term, it's going to only benefit you, and that's what podcasting does for me. And also, like now, it's an hour of your day just recording, then it's like an hour and a half afterwards editing, and you look at it, you're like, it's not bringing me money, but in the long term, it's going to.
Yeah, bro, 100%. And I mean, fuck, especially like we said, if we started this in America or whatever, it'd be like, oh fuck, some this other guy or whatever, they started a podcast. But yeah, in South Africa, there's such a cool market for it, and there's like no one's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's fucking cool.
At the moment, to be a bit of ahead of the game,
Yeah. And I think it's always going to be slower in South Africa, and I'm sure you guys, anyone, in any industry of anything in South Africa has experienced that. It's slower to do anything in South Africa, but also it's nice to have that challenge, to know that. It might be more difficult to do in South Africa, but there's no one else willing to do it.
Yeah, exactly, bro. No,
and you guys, I want to ask you guys some questions. You want to hijack your podcast?
No, feel free.
So you were telling us before the podcast that you started the clothing company.
Yeah, so just get my years right. So I started it in 20. Fuck, I don't even know how old I am.
You're 20 now.
So 2018 I started. No, 2017 I started it. And like I didn't have the money to do it. I didn't also have the right mentality, bro. I was a fucking lighty. I was jolling and So I then was like, okay, let me stop this, work for a year. So that's what I did. I worked in real estate for a year, built up money, and then maybe this January this year, I linked up with Tyler. He's always been my good mate. I've known him since I was a fucking baby. So then I joined up with him. We started it. It was just an idea, bro. Like literally just an idea, and it's so cool to see where it is just a couple months later, So then we started it, and on I think it was the 18th of February this year, and bro, we can't believe the way it's gone. Like, I mean, from just a few months, it's really, really awesome.
And in a strange way, the lockdown kind of played in our favor, but because we've got it like, that setup period where, because I also work full time, actually, I'm business manager for a small construction company, Lyle's doing varsities, training, all that stuff. So that balance of just like that coronavirus period kind of gave us like to do the groundwork and get everything set up and find our supplies and get everything. And then since things have started to open up, it's looked really positive. So we're enjoying the response.
But I think that's exactly what lockdown did. Is it kind of realigned people's passions, and it kind of showed people, and it gave people more time to be able to look at things that actually could bring them more value and work towards it.
And also just what matters, bro, because this coronavirus, like that lockdown period, stripped a lot of, I wouldn't say bullshit, but for lack of a better phrase, maybe just nonsense that we carry on our day to day, and it showed us like this is what we actually need to do, and this is what's actually important. And if you cut out all that other nonsense, then you can get like where you want to be a lot quicker, I think.
Yeah, bro. And it's weird, like obviously so many people struggled during the lockdown, bro. But like for me myself, I know like I had a time to like reassess everything, reset, write my fucking goals, whatever however you go about it, and get back into it, bro. And I was also lucky enough that I like had a little home gym, so that was fucking blessing, bro. I don't know what I would have done without that. So, and did you train during lockdown?
Yeah, I was training. I was staying at my parents' house at the Vaal, so we were training every day. But we had, because our neighbor has a home gym, and then we were basically, he gave us some of his equipment. He didn't want us going into the gym. So he just said, here's a dumbbell, here's a barbell, make do. We kind of had to, and we did. So that was for about 21 days, and then we came back to Joburg, and then actually signed up at a private gym. So I've been training since 21 days into lockdown.
Oh,
Okay.
Good. Jeez.
Okay,
I'm
that's
starting
fine.
my first week. I don't know if you can see my arms
Yeah.
out. This is as far as I'm going
I
at
can-
the moment. I'm a little stiff, but I'm glad to be back. Bro.
Yeah.
It is so weird, bro.
It's
The other
weird.
day, I think it was yesterday, I literally because obviously when I walk around, I can wear my mask, whatever, I don't mind. But when I'm actually doing the set, like, I'm taking my fucking mask off because I can't fucking breathe.
Yeah.
I take my mask off, I'm busy, literally, like, midway through my set.
I don't
And
know.
the fucking guy taps me on the shoulder, he's like, no, put your fucking mask on.
Okay,
I was like,
is this a Virgin?
yeah, it was at Virgin.
Okay.
Yeah, I got fucking so angry,
But
bro. I was
isn't
like,
it-
fuck.
I can understand like wearing the mask thing just for like decency, but if you like also like, what is the rules? Because I mean I've been to Virgin now. There's been like 2 people in the gym.
Yeah.
So if I'm that side of the gym, I mean I pull my mask. a bit
I
down,
think
is
it's
it
maybe just like you spit or something,
something
that goes
on the
equipment.
equipment and yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
But
But
it
also, I mean, I went last night at 5 p.m. and I was like, okay, no, maybe there's going to be 50 people
yeah,
there.
there was,
There was
no
probably
one
like
to-
12 people.
Yeah, because I've also been now. I think when the peakest hour I've also been training like 12:1. But like the other day I went to the 4:30, and I saw a lot of cars in the parking. So I was like, oh fuck, maybe I'm not even gonna get in. There was also like only probably maximum 10 people.
Why
in
do
the
you
gym.
think that is? Like, do you think it's just that people either cancel their membership because they don't have the cash, or they've made home gyms?
I think they're scared. I think
Yeah,
they're
maybe.
people are just over scared and they're just kind of just listening to government and
Yeah.
and people are just kind of just thinking, you know, this is super serious.
Mm.
And I guess it is for some people, maybe have like old people living with them.
Yeah.
Like people that might, you know, actually be affected. But I mean, if you're young, you're healthy, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at how many people are surviving this thing. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine.
I mean, yeah, that's the main thing. It's just like if you live a healthy lifestyle
Yeah.
and you're of a certain age or under the age of like 60.
Exactly.
should be
And
fine.
also, going to gym will make you healthier.
Yeah, well, that's
going
what
to gym will improve your vitality and pretty much make the effects of coronavirus, you know, less.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're gonna manage it when it gets full. Though this is the only thing I've been thinking about. Is I don't know if you've seen that weight thing.
Yeah.
So you like pick up your. It's probably the same at Fitfit. You pick up your weights, you train, and then there's like a section where you put your weights down, and they obviously spray them down, and then put
Yeah.
them back.
Fuck, dude, they're not
Dude,
doing that
you
in
can
my
imagine,
gym.
like after every set, you got 2 pairs of weights you put down. There's 50 people in the gym, so you're literally gonna have to have like a relay team of people like picking up, going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not gonna be
Yeah.
weights.
Well, I mean, what I did is instead of just going and like dropping it off in the weight zone, I would go and I just sprayed it myself,
Yeah,
cleaned it,
yeah.
put it back on the rack.
Like, yeah.
Because
Oh,
I mean, if everyone does that, you're gonna have a pile up of. Okay, obviously there's not many people in the gym, but the
Yeah.
moment there are a lot of people in the gym, you're gonna have a pile up of
Yeah,
weights.
that's what I'm.
Yeah.
And I mean, these ladies are gonna be running around spraying, going crazy.
Yeah,
They're
that's
not
also
gonna
the
be
thing.
able
Some
to
of
keep
them
up.
are like ladies and stuff. Not everyone can pick up like a 50 kg.
Yeah, like I
dumbbell
literally
and
just
move
finished
it,
gym
yeah.
now before I came, and it was like a 28 or something. I put it down, and it was like the skinny little lady. I'm like, don't you want me to put it there for you, and then you can clean it there instead of
You
know,
having
having
to like
roll
carry
it
it?
and
And
then
she's like, no, it is. I'll call one of the guys or whatever. So I was like, okay.
fuck,
It's up
dude.
to you.
Virgin's
It's-
gonna have some death
it's weird.
staff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a plus. The staff that don't actually train are gonna become healthier.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's weird. We're like this whole not seeing people's faces is getting to me, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm speaking to someone, and I think someone like completely different. They pull down their mask. I'm like, oh,
I'm terrible at like muffling my voice, so like I won't think about how I'm speaking, and then I'll just go, and then halfway through the conversation I'll be like, oh shit, bro, he's talking the same
Yeah.
like tone of voice.
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
you just forgot the
I
mask.
also find myself, you got earphones in or whatever, and then you talk to someone, and then it feels like you need to take off your earphones and
And
your
the
mask.
mask.
Like it's claustrophobic. You got a mask, you got earphones, you got a cap, it's just too
Yeah.
much.
yeah, bro. I'm just hoping that sometime. Listen, I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, but I just hope that they're gonna get rid of this mask situation, bro.
I just hope we wake up in the morning. They're just like, okay, vaccine approved. Everybody can go back.
I
to
think
being
until
fucking
then it's
normal.
going to be masks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, I think maybe next year, if nothing, no vaccines has come and the curve's kind of gone down. I think they're kind of just going to be like, okay, well, natural selection, here you go.
Yeah, well,
It's just what it is.
It has to get to a point because this is the thing. Like, either we have this lockdown indefinitely, the rest of our lives we live like this, or eventually we have to go like, okay, guys,
Yeah.
we've curved the huge infection spike. The hospitals should be prepped by this time, which you like 6 months, 100 and something, whatever days. Hospitals don't have really much of an excuse anymore for not being prepped. It's the only thing the government's really had to do for the last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I was actually chatting to one of my mates' girlfriends that work at a hospital, and she says that the main spike was in May only, or already.
Okay.
And they're saying like it was going to get worse now, and that's just obviously the government being the government and who they are.
Yeah.
And it's she says like the COVID beds were empty. She said there was no one there.
But that's the thing, like how they've had like unprecedented power during this time. Like the ANC has pretty much been able to do what they want when they wanted. So it's not in their real benefit to go like, okay, let's stop the lockdown, you know.
But I think the after effects are going to be bad on the economy. So it's also it's difficult because no one's ever experienced a pandemic like this. So I mean, experts, you can't really be. No one really is going to know like what's going to happen. What's gonna
exactly.
happen.
We're all experiencing this for the first time, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking yes, bro. And the thing is, you never know what to believe. That's the worst fucking part.
The worst part is like it's been like legitimate like organizations like the World Health Organization, but then they like just like spreading Chinese propaganda, and we're having to go like, okay, fuck, we can't even trust them.
But
like,
it's cool because it's like a little conspiracy theory. Like this whole COVID was, you know, strategically placed in our lives, just for control, but also like you kind of think like, but would it, because how much money has been lost? So like there's so many considerations that need to go into it. It's actually
but then you look and you see like Jeff Bezos, the world's richest man, he made $20 billion like the first
so what happened was he was on like 100 billion, and then 2 months later it was on 198 billion. So he literally almost doubled his net worth.
And then you think to yourself, has he got something to do with this whole fucker? And you just
bro,
it's such a rabbit hole.
It's about being indoors for too long. Then
you just watch this conspiracy series and then you just get hooked on them.
That's what I've noticed, bro. Everyone and their dog has become a fucking conspiracy theorist over this lockdown.
But that's also something that, you know, social media has created. Like these people on Facebook that just post these things and post all these rants about this and that, and like what can you actually believe? You kind of just have to just be like, okay, well, it doesn't matter as long as I'm healthy, my friends are healthy, my family's healthy. Clearly it's not that bad.
Oh fuck, Bruno, to be honest with you, I even stay off. Don't look at the newspaper, don't look at the news, don't look at Facebook, none of that shit.
It's negativity.
It's literally the only time I'm on social media is obviously for GHR, and I literally try not fucking look at anything else besides like, you know, the fitness industry, because bro, it's a the thing is, it's a rabbit hole. As soon as once you get into it, it's,
and also the media is just reporting, and there's nothing really to report on at the moment.
Bad news sells. So, you know, if you want views and you want eyes watching your content, you're going to be posting, you know, hectic stuff.
Every single morning you turn on, it's like coronavirus. That
it was actually frustrating on the radio. Just hear this and that about it. Just hear the word coronavirus, and it's just frustrating. I mean, you just want to get on with your life. You don't want to continue having to lose money because of the economy, you know, being at a standstill. But at least now it can kind of be better. I mean, main thing is gyms open, which is great.
Fuck, bro. I don't know how, like the people, like I know if you have a few mates that train and whatever, and they went the whole 5 months without. Well, I mean, I'm looking at him. But I mean, you know, you ran and whatever. But like, bro, I don't know how. Obviously, we fucking all train and whatever. But I don't know how you can go 5 months without like training, bro. I don't know. The thing is, surely it must affect you mentally, bro.
Oh, no, it did. I'll tell you for sure. It was like that first 2 months was tough. Like the first month, I don't think you were too worked up about it. I was like, this is not gonna last
too long.
Like after the second month, then I started getting that bit of an itch. Like, dude, okay, I just want to go out, just do a little bit. Just a bit of anything. Even if I just go to the gym to row for 30 minutes, you know, I just want to do something. That definitely got that a little bit of that cabin fever.
So I mean, how did you get started in like a fitness brand? Obviously, you know your passion for fitness.
Yeah, but I've literally since I was like very very young, always had a passion for fitness. I always had a passion for bodybuilding in particular. So I was like, fuck, dude, I always knew what cool clothes I would wear to like to the gym and shit, and I'll be like, bro, let me fucking do this, you know, just for guys that are bodybuilders, they're like hardcore trainers. Let me try it, and fuck, bro, here we are.
Well, you see now that that's exactly what, you know, how Gymshark was founded, and I mean Gymshark's now worth $1 billion, billion pounds.
It's crazy, and that guy's also young. How?
Yeah, he's 27.
What?
Bro.
And he was sewing the clothes himself at his parents' house when it started.
Crazy,
and now he's still got like 61% ownership in the business, which is mad.
Yeah, that is mad. That is a cool
story. At 27 years old.
Fucking cool. So do you know what his name is by any chance?
Bev. What is it, Bev Francis? Like, I could be wrong. It's Bev something, I'm sure.
I think Bev Francis is isn't she the wife of?
Is that a chick?
Yeah. So the wife of of one of the Olympia judges, because they
maybe I'm just maybe I'm confusing them, but it's something similar.
Okay,
I'm sure.
Well,
it could be completely different names.
Doesn't matter. But
I even subscribed to his YouTube channel and I can't even remember his name.
That's crazy, bro. Like, how much did you say he's worth now?
Well, the business is evaluated. See, that's the thing. It's not actual turnover. It's evaluated at £1 billion.
Yeah, but he's definitely worth like a few.
Either way, that's crazy.
Yeah,
at 27.
At 27, and yes, bro, the O is rolling. And it started in the UK.
Yeah.
Started in the UK.
Yeah, British guy. And also, he's aligned himself with the correct athletes, and he's aligned himself with people like Steve Cook, people like who else? Ryan Terry. It's people that
Chris Bumstead.
Yeah, exactly. It's I mean, literally anyone, actually. If you look at, in the fitness industry, bodyboarding, fitness, any federation, WBFF, IFBB, everyone is sponsored and a Gymshark athlete. Anyone that's, like, worth their salt in the industry is sponsored by Gymshark. And that's their pool. And that's, I mean, you think about Ryan Terry, he's got, let's say, 2 million followers. He brings in them 100,000 clients a month. CBAM is also doing that.
Yeah.
Then you got the girls range, you got everyone, and it's just, that's the way it's influencer marketing, and it's they don't have sales reps. They just probably pay, Ryan Terry, I don't know how much they would pay him, probably let's say equivalent 10,000 rand. They pay all of the athletes 10,000 rand. Those athletes are bringing in 100,000 rand with the sales.
And I mean, listen, dude, if you're an athlete, someone's gonna pay you. All you have to do is wear their clothes and be on social media.
Yeah.
And you get free fucking clothes. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, I would do it in a common canter for 4 brands if I could,
The issue is, though, with aligning yourself with a lot of brands is losing your own personal brand.
Yeah.
And that's what I've experienced a lot in the industry is almost, you get people like, would you want to be sponsored by my CBD product? Do you want to be sponsored by my cologne product? And you kind of look at it and be like, am I just taking this because it's free and it'll be cool, and be like people like, that guy's sponsored by all these things. I mean, it means nothing, really.
Yeah.
Sponsorships obviously are important, but if you've got 1,000 and you're constantly changing, clearly there's no loyalty, and clearly there's no actual belief in the product. It's just, it's just cool to say that I'm sponsored by this and I'm sponsored by that.
Yeah.
And also, I had that experience as well with, supplements, and it was difficult because, I was with Evox. Then Evox was still the same company with SSN, but then they moved me over to SSN. Then I didn't have a sponsor for like a year. Then Biotech asked me to be sponsored if I would be an athlete, and then I was with them for about a year, and then kind of no one, and then Extreme approached me. So, I mean, if you think about it, all these products actually are pretty similar.
Yeah. Well,
all these products are pretty much made in the same factories, the same
ingredients,
the same tubs. Everything's basically the same. The measurements are the same, unless it's obviously imported. But I mean, anything local is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's not actually. That's what's nice about Extreme, though. Now is Extreme says, "Okay, come in and choose whatever products you want for the month," and it doesn't matter the brand. So that's cool. I can go. I want to try this pre-workout. I want to try this pre-workout. And also, what's nice about it with Extreme is I can be completely, objective. I don't have to say,
you don't have to
this is amazing, guys,
yeah.
great pre-workout, best one ever. I can be like, guys, I didn't really get amazing pump with that, but I prefer this product. Obviously still promoting them, and also different strokes. I mean, sometimes I take a pre-workout that's too strong for me, and it's an amazing pre-workout, but it's too strong for me. Might be amazing for you, someone who maybe takes, can handle more caffeine.
Yeah.
So that's what's nice, is just kind of being able to just try everything. And also it's nice, every single month, like twice a month, I get a new pre-workout.
Yeah, that's
a new whey protein.
And also they're not like literally telling you, listen, you have to do this, have to do that. And that's
I didn't even have a contract with Extreme.
Yeah, bro. I mean, our athletes, none of them have a contract or nothing in writing. Because at the end of the day, like we told them, listen, bro, if you want to be with us, you can be with us. If you don't want to be with us, don't be with us. It's not a problem, And it's fair. Like, that's why actually, when you said that, I literally just thought about Mickey. Literally, that could have been, he could have been sponsored by any of these other big guys, Panda or whatever, whoever, And he was like, no, bro, fuck it. I'm with GHR. This is my fucking sponsor, and I'm gonna go with it. So fucking big shout out to Mickey, bro.
All the other boys. That was the thing when you said about like aligning yourself with the right athletes. We we had 1 or 2 guys at the beginning that were like, bro, there wasn't that belief. It was something starting up, and everybody wants something. Everybody wants to be sponsored by Nike tomorrow, but that's not how things work. So we had to let a few guys go, and we had to, like, here and there play with athletes. But I think the team that we built around us now is, like, first it was a bunch of loyal guys, and the second thing is like a bit of a community, and that's the thing that we're heading for. We wanted the guys to be, it's like a cool thing, bro. Like, you don't have to. It's not about just the sponsors. It's just about, like, everybody's backing each other when people are prepping for competitions, backing each other when we're just in the neighborhood. Everybody trains with each other, shares their stories, how far they are in and out of competition, just so there's like it's like a little support group for bodybuilders. It's kind of a cool system.
It's fucking cool, bro. I mean, yeah. And the thing is, bodybuilding is not like for us, like that's all we hear, and fucking in the fitness industry. So but to the outsider, bodybuilding is like, it's fucking weird. Like there's not much going on,
It's kind of like it's like
it's almost frowned upon.
If you think about gymnastics, South Africa, you're probably like, no one does gymnastics in South Africa. Then once you're in that community, like there's actually tons of people that are interested in it, and there's tons of money that's spent, and there's tons of events. Like it's like bodybuilding. People think like in South Africa, because it's not televised. It's not anything like that. So you think, I mean, what is bodybuilding in South Africa if you don't know it? Yeah. But now, at least with social media, a lot more people are aware of it, because if you look at any influencer now, they're either posting a photo of their bum or their abs, and that's just how it is, and that's how people now attract fame.
Yeah, so your body's your catalog pretty much, bro. It's your sales point. Look at me, and then hopefully you can get enough sponsors to live off it.
Yeah.
And then you can just use those sponsors to live off it, and then you can compete. And that can be your first and foremost thing, because especially in South Africa, and you'll know yourself, you're a guy that has to run several businesses, do this and that, and then you still have to commit to that training like everybody else. It's not like you can just wake up and that's your be or end all.
Yeah.
And just wake up, train,
and
go back
I
to
think
sleep.
It's fucking cool that, like, I know, like, obviously we want bodybuilding to go a bit more mainstream and to get more hype, but I find it very cool that it's like almost frowned upon.
Yeah.
Because then, like, you're like the only bunch of people in the world that are fucking doing it.
Well, I mean, if you look at skateboarding, like when Tony Hawk first started skateboarding, it was something that was frowned upon, and it was something that was like, this guy's a rebel, this guy's like a dropout. And I mean, if you look at anyone now that's like in school, they want to be like, I want to be a professional bodybuilder. People are like, come on, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. And I mean, look at skateboarding today, how much money is made in skateboarding. Maybe, who knows, one day in bodyboarding, it's going to be that easy. Well, not that easy, but it's going to be as acceptable and as, available to people that want to be a bodyboarder as, what skateboarding is today.
Yeah.
I think with the growth of just like social media and channels in like a general, talking about that niche thing, like where we don't really know much about gymnastics, but there's a huge gymnastics scene. I think like as social media stuff grows, there's more of a platform for people to like get involved in exactly what they like.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So like basically in the olden days, like you had to like what's there is like what you can do. So you go to school and you could only do like rugby and whatever now.
Yeah.
Now because there's so many more platforms and so much more advertised, and it's getting more and more easier to access, that more and more people will get into it and it will grow, and then eventually it won't be this niche thing anymore. It'll just be like, this is the section for the bodybuilders, this is the section for these guys.
Yeah, but it gives people a bit of a direction to know exactly where you're gonna go.
That's all about. I think it's accessibility. That's the main thing. If I look at Oaks, like you said, in school, I mean, we had a guy that I went to school with, Dylan Dawson.
Yeah.
He's doing quite well now.
Pretorius boys.
Yeah. And when we were in school, like from grade 10, Dill was like, I remember he got given from his matric a necklace which had a Dunbar on it, and he was from like grade 10. Dill was like, that's my life, that's what he wants to do. And there's nothing there for him to do it. It's like, even though he's at school, he has to kind of like build the system for himself, do the training for himself, do the eating for himself.
Yeah.
But the more accessible we make it, then you don't have to, I guess, put all that pressure on yourself. And like you said, it's just more clearer path to getting from A to B. Because at the moment, if you're a young bodybuilder, there's no really a guide on how to start promoting yourself, how to get involved in competitions. Where do you compete? How do you train? All these things are just kind of up in the air for the market at the moment.
But I mean, I was also, when I went to go watch when I was in matric, that was when my first show was. I went to go watch WPFF, and I watched it. I was like, yo, this is cool. Look how these people have pushed their bodies to the extreme. Yeah. So then I was like, you know what? Let me just Google when a show is. I literally Googled a show. I was like, okay, cool. 12 weeks time, NABA. Let me do this. NABA Provincials. It was in Pretoria. It was Gauteng. So I went and I did it, and then I didn't know what to expect. I was like, you know what? I'll do WFF next year. Let me just do this show now to get experience and to see what it's about. And then, I mean, I was shocked that I actually won that show. Then I qualified for nationals. So then I went to the nationals, and then I won nationals as well. And I was like, you know what? I've just been Googling how to diet, how to this, how to that, reading bodybuilding.com, reading T Nation, and I was like, yo, this is actually something. It's a massive industry, and when I googled it, NABA came up, and I'm glad NABA came up because that was a great entry level, show to do. And prepping myself first in matric while I was still playing rugby, while I was writing prelims, it was difficult, but it was nice to gain that experience without a coach. And then WBF came, I got a coach, done shows ever since by myself, but just the learning experience through that. And there was no one that I could really, like, there was a few people at the gym that I could have asked, but I was like kind of hesitant. I was a bit shy. I was in matric. I was like I didn't really want everyone at school to know that I was doing this. So I kind of just Googled it, researched it myself, and I think that's the best way. I've learned the most from it, and I definitely obviously could have benefited more from having maybe like a more of a mentor type thing when I was in matric. The following year I may have gotten one, but I think I bet it was a cool learning experience, and I definitely now looking back would never change that.
That's fucking cool, bro. Well, like these days you can learn everything off YouTube or whatever, bro. Like
that's cool to hear that point of view. How like I would think it would be better to have like a mentor from the start, but that like journey that you told me,
I was kind of just forced,
Sometimes you need to bump your head a bit before you get into coaching or get a coach or maybe those kind of things.
You have to, like Jesse will know.
You have to create the passion for yourself as well. I think in between that phase, you're gonna before you get coaching and stuff. You don't just want to
mess some water, guys.
You don't just want to wake up and be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get a coach. I'm gonna start bodybuilding. You start doing it for yourself. Start, like you said, you Google competition.
And you also got to learn your body. Learning your body is a big thing. Like I know, like when I started dieting. Like obviously I was at hostel and whatever, it was like hard to diet or whatever when I was in school. But just going through the motions by yourself is cool because you get to learn your body. You're like, fuck, okay, I've been doing this for a month. Let's say, I'll just give you an example. Fuck, I've been eating rice with every meal for a month and it's not fucking working. Let me change it up, And I mean, now today, whatever, 5-6 years later, I kind of know my body. I know what to put into it without a coach, Even though I think a coach is fucking important. If you're at a higher level, of course you get.
Bro, I'm a coach, and I would say don't just go out and get a coach.
Yeah.
You need to learn your body, and it's going to be more difficult for the coach to learn your body. Obviously, a good coach will be able to, but it's going to be more difficult for them because you are living in yourself. You're living. You look at yourself in the mirror. You're able to see the progress that you show. Obviously, it's difficult initially starting out because you know nothing, then you're trying to learn yourself and learn how to diet, and so it is difficult starting out, and there is a lot of research and a lot of source material that you can go and look at, and I think it's majorly beneficial to do that. But also sometimes people might not be able to because not everyone is going to be like me in matric and want to just be weird and go and eat hake at the back of the classroom and have all the girls turn around and be like, what is he doing? This guy's food stinks. Does he have to bring his tuna to class? And I mean, luckily I had a mate at the time. Well, he's still a mate, but I had a mate who at the time was also kind of doing it, and he was competing. He's actually probably still in like 2 years of his competing did more shows than me. So he was also doing it, which was cool, but he had a coach.
Okay.
But it was kind of just nice having someone to do it with. And I mean, we were such clowns in class. We would, like, he got his shirts tailored to fit his arms better. So he didn't.
It's one of those.
he didn't ever compete in matric, so he only competed after me. But in that short period of time they did compete, he actually competed more than me. And I mean, even my brother, who competed in the space of 2 years, has competed more than me in the space of 8 years.
Sure.
So it's also something about competing where you kind of. And now he doesn't really want to compete again. He might have the goal again, but I think it is a long-term thing.
Yes.
And a lot of people say, like, just do 3 or 4 shows a year. I don't think that's... It's good to always... you have a goal of always looking good, but don't try to do 4 or 5 shows a year. I don't believe that's going to be healthy for you. To start, let's say 4% body fat, to do that, then you have 2 weeks... Try maintain that, get your water levels back, then do another show. Then, you got like 3 months. Your body doesn't know what it's doing.
And also, you're not going to be at your optimum like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, you're right, bro. So tell me So you haven't competed as of late, or have you?
I competed last year.
Okay.
So I'll give you like a short history. So I did 2 shows in 2014, 2 shows in 2015. one show when I went to Canada in 2016. Then 17, 18, I did nothing. So I did 2 years off, and then last year I did Muscle Militia.
Okay.
I did Men's Physique and Classic, and then Big Man Men's Physique and Classic.
Okay. How did you do at Muscle Militia?
Muscle Militia, I won Physique and Classic.
Oh, fucking power.
And then I went to Big Man, bro, and then there were big men there. I came second in Men's Physique, which is alright. But there was this massive oak from Egypt or Jordan or some like Northern African country, and he was gigantic. He was literally like 2 meters tall, and he was in my height category because I was the tallest.
Yeah.
But it was still a massive discrepancy between our heights. Sure. And then it was kind of like, bro, this guy's shoulders was like this. He didn't look overly big. He was still like Men's Physique size, but just because he was so tall, he was able to just. I literally looked like a kid next to him. So
I'm always at marvel that like the tall oaks that are built like that. It's always a spectacle. Bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's so much harder to.
It's like fucking Ronnie, bro.
Yeah.
That well, first of all, he's the tallest on stage. I think he was. Yeah, he was the tallest on stage, and he was just a fucking monster of a human being. And the thing is that size to put on so much muscle at that height, bro, it's a fucking it's an achievement, bro.
It is difficult to, because I mean your muscles are longer, your fibers, just the motion of curling, it just takes longer to curl. It's definitely more difficult, but also a lot of taller people, despite them being taller, the genetics and their fast-twitch muscle fibers might play in their favor. So it's all genetics.
Yeah, I mean, bro, if you look at fucking like the 212 division now, like Olympia was, the max height must be like 5'8", 5'9".
Those guys are short,
tiny, But I mean, that's what fucking looks good.
Yeah, most of those guys that maybe don't crack it in 212 go down to classic, but then they might be better suited for classic.
Yeah, bro, fuck. Like we were talking about on the last podcast with Mickey, we were talking about the classic physique this year. But that's like obviously that's my favorite.
No,
obviously my favorite.
I think it's going to soon become
I agree, bro.
The category to do.
Yeah, and the thing is, obviously everyone wants to see the freaks, 100%. Like I fucking want to see the big.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. But as aesthetically, the way I would like to look, it's crazy, bro. Like Chris Bumstead's physique, Breon Ansley. Like personally, I fucking dig Chris Bumstead big time, like as a human being. But Breon Ansley's physique is fucking.
It looks good,
Oh my god, it's crazy.
I like his personality on social media as well.
Yeah, he's a good. Well, I mean, fuck, you never say through social media, but
it's difficult to tell.
But I mean, he seems like a good actor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his YouTube channel is entertaining, and also I like the fact that I don't know. People on YouTube that post a lot of food videos do well. So he always posts like he'll go and get like for cheap like a big stack of pancakes.
Yeah.
And then like do a Q&A while he's chowing his pancakes.
Yeah.
And then
cool,
like when I was prepping, because I was gonna do classic, it was cool to watch someone that is a classic pro, doing these things and eating his pancakes, and it was like motivating me like if I stick to this diet, if I just endure now, I'll get to that level. No, actually, to be honest, I don't want to ever be that level. I don't ever want to be. I don't want to be a professional.
Okay.
I want to be like successful in business, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And competing, kind of just brings me more clients in terms of my online training and everything. But I like to be an IFBB pro is not my end goal.
Fuck, dude, that's interesting. I never would have thought you would say that.
Bro, honestly, I do competing because it brings me more clients. I'll be dead honest. Okay. I won't even deny the fact that it's obvious. The better I look, the more clients I get.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, I care about those clients that I'm getting, but the better I look, and also the reason I competed is because I was playing rugby. I was pushing myself, and then I was like, this isn't enough. I need to push myself more.
Yeah.
So then I did those shows, and I kind of did well, but it was more because of just wanting to better myself and push myself, and that's also why I stopped competing for those 2 years. And then I was like, you know what, I'm complacent. My diet is yo-yoing. I'm good for like 3 months, then I'm not so lean, then I'm lean. I'm like, let me just set my mind to something and do it.
Okay.
And fortunately, my girlfriend of the time, my fiance now, she was just like, yeah, let's do it. And her sister wanted to do it, and two of my other athletes were also doing that show. So I'm like, bro, this is a great time to just do the show.
Yeah.
And then I did that, and then I won that. So I'm like, oh well, might as well just do big man as well. And then that was 2 weeks later, and then I did that, and then I was gonna compete again this year, and I definitely think I'll compete again, but I think next year will probably be my last year. Then I want to go do like triathlons and go
Okay.
do
That's quite
like
an
races.
interesting
Yeah, because I mean,
branch
I just care about pushing. Like now, I'm doing like boxing training and stuff.
Yeah.
I've just always enjoyed pushing my body to the limits, and like competing is difficult in terms of the food, the training. I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
you
It's fun.
train every day in any case.
Like
Yeah,
I
you
never
enjoy it.
like maybe a certain leg session. I'm like, yo, actually, I want to stop.
yeah,
But like,
yeah,
but like boxing like 10 minutes in, you're like, yo, I can't go anymore,
Yeah,
but you
it's
have
crazy.
to.
yeah.
And another thing is because I do like competitive jits as well, and
Okay.
that's the thing that it shows you, like it teaches you that like how far you can push your body. And there's sessions of jits where I'm just like, I've been, you've rolled now for 20 minutes and you're sore, you've been choked out, and you just know, fuck, it's just that pride in you, like no, that guy's not choking me out. You just have to
Is
push
that
that
so why I
bit
like
harder.
Joe Rogan more?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Fuck yeah, bro.
So how long you been doing that for?
I've been doing jits now for a couple of years, and then I've been training Muay Thai and stuff since
Okay.
I've been a Lati. So that's my.
Have you go to Thailand to go do Muay Thai?
No, I've actually never been to Thailand.
Okay.
I've always dreamed of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I know a few people that like did boxing or MMA
Yeah,
and stuff, and then they went there for like 2 or 3 weeks and like did some
they trained
training.
it. Yeah, there's like I forget what that's. I don't know.
There was even that video of fucking Dan Bilzerian. I think it
Can't
was in
remember.
Thailand, was
Can't
it?
He was with Bradley Martin at the time. I
Yes,
think.
yeah,
he
yeah.
was.
That's
Can't
exactly
remember
what
what
it was.
there's that very famous coach that all the celebrities go. So he's
Okay.
he's probably like my height,
Yeah.
a bit of a belly. He's like little Thai man, like built like a little rock fighter. And I see all the celebrities go and they go train there for him for 3 weeks or whatever. So
It's probably the same place I'm talking about.
yeah, I
With-
think
with-
I think it is.
Well, if Dan went there, it's probably the best place
Probably,
to go.
yeah, no, 100%.
So you guys, what is your goal now for this clothing company?
Fuck, bro. Sky's the fucking limit for us, bro.
Yeah.
We have big fucking goals. We'd like to. Well, Tyler's probably going to be moving overseas at the end of the next year, probably.
Yeah.
So that's one of
You
our
have
goals.
to make it international by then, bro.
Yeah, bro. So the biggest thing is just to get it as big as possible, yeah. And then for him to take it over, he's probably going to go to Oz.
Yeah.
And for him to take it over there, and then I'll probably end up in Canada maybe in the next 2 years or so. And then take it there, bro, and then obviously get people to run it, yeah, and fucking just, yeah, make it international. That's the big
what
thing.
brand have you kind of looked at and said like that's their ethos, their mission statement? That's the kind of like clothing company we'd like to.
Bro, to be honest with you, none really. Because the thing is, I wanted to start something that was like. There are a few like hardcore bodybuilding brands, but I think we want to be completely different to them. And the thing is, we're gonna get to that stage where we can kind of do whatever the fuck we want. And then when we get to that stage, I think you'll see like we'll be completely different too. Because obviously like maybe you I don't know if you know CT Fletcher.
Yeah.
His brand is fucking cool. Like
Yeah.
Iron Addicts. That's fucking that's dope. Like
That-
that's something that I would look up to.
And then like Rich Piana's brand, or like the hard,
So 5%. That's
That 5%,
that's actually Now that you mention it, that's
those two brands.
Yeah.
those are fucking cool. But like I said, we definitely want to be different to them. And one day fucking take over.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, to just take over. Bro, to be honest.
And what did you branch off from after? Once your clothing kind of has established itself in the industry, would you do anything else?
Yeah,
or-
so our plan is to make it as fucking big as possible in bodybuilding and like fitness in general, and then we're planning on going through to like MMA and just like fighting apparel.
like
Yeah.
hardcore things
Like
that take
hardcore, yeah.
hard work, and it takes a man to do it.
Yeah,
like
pretty
someone that
much.
can endure hardship.
Pretty much, bro. And I mean, fuck, it's great because Tyler's big into MMA. I'm myself, but I don't train in MMA or whatever. But yeah, bro. So that's gonna be fucking cool. I can't wait for that day because I know Tyler's like itching to make like gym shit. I mean, MMA shit and fucking sponsoring guys like Don Madge and all those guys. Bro. So yeah, one day, maybe in the near future, we'll definitely branch out.
What do you feel? Well, obviously it's not MMA, but Mike Tyson's comeback.
Oh, me and Lau have been chatting about this because I've got very mixed feelings. Just because Mike Tyson looks very fit at the moment and he looks like he's smacking hard. Roy Jones is like a couple years younger than him, so it looks good. But it's just when they're so old, it's the risk of brain damage. That's where like my heart wants to watch these two O's smash each other. But then also there's a part of me that says, bro, when you're in your 50s and you're taking shots like that, it depends on how the fight goes. But the way I've seen Mike like strike the pads and stuff at the moment, Roy Jones is also no one to fucking, just laugh off. So,
definitely
bro, I hope it's a good fight. I hope it's a competitive fight. But I've got in my heart of hearts, I just believe that Tyson's just gonna come out with some other kind of fury in him.
That guy's speed, watching those videos now of him training
is
is
fucking crazy.
At
54, dude,
looks like it's like at world champion standard. Like it's so incredible how he can move.
Have you watched his podcast?
I'll watch a bit of it. Yeah.
Because obviously now, also it's difficult to see like how much of this is just money and publicity and stage. That's the thing. Like how much of it is kind of like Mike Tyson being like, "Okay, bro, I'm gonna win this fight, but that little bit of money that I get." I'd say he wins 100 million. He'll be like, "Okay, I'm gonna win 100 million, but you can get 20 extra million, for throwing the fight."
Yeah, and I see that. It's also the thing of like when I look at fights like this, all I think of is Ali in his old age when he used to sit in a chair and he couldn't move and he was shaking. He very struggled with his speech. Getting knocked out when you're 53 isn't it's not the same as getting knocked out when you're 30. It's definitely a different game. So we'll see how this fight goes, but I hope it's like a once-off. I saw
exhibition. It was postponed.
Was it postponed?
Yeah, but a little bit later. It's like maybe a month or something.
Okay.
But the thing is, I think it's 8 rounds. Am I correct?
Yeah.
8 rounds. How many minutes? I don't know the full thing. 3 minute round.
Yeah.
I think if it goes past, this is my prediction. If it goes past 4 rounds, Roy Jones Jr. will beat him. Honestly, but I don't think it's gonna go past 4 rounds. I think
Mike will probably rock him before then.
I think Mike can rock him first round.
And there's no other man in this world that can wind himself up like that guy. Holy shit, that guy.
It was actually ironic. I was watching a podcast with Mike Tyson. Eminem was on the podcast, and he was talking. Mike Tyson's like, he doesn't have the urge to beat anyone up anymore. He doesn't have the desire to fight anymore. Well, clearly the money for the fight has brought out that desire
that he needed.
Because I think it was last year, it was the podcast with Eminem or something, and then he was like, nah, he doesn't want to fight anymore. He doesn't have the desire he did when he was young.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe the money brought that desire back.
Yeah. But I think also with a guy like that is that like he's actually said on his podcast before, he's actually he was scared to start training again because he was scared he was gonna get that fucking ego back.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson's ego is like
he's still got an ego, bro.
He does 100%.
We also
at 54,
fucking bro. Crazy. This guy used to shout at people that was gonna eat their kids.
The amount of drugs he was doing.
Yeah, but I think he understands himself well enough in his old age to know that if he does like go down that path, maybe then the partying and the rest comes with that ego that he carries.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Because he's the man. He goes out to clubs. There's the it's.
Well, I mean, it's Mike Tyson. Everyone he walks in anywhere, someone's gonna know it's him.
I mean, who's fucking more famous than Mike Tyson, dude?
Definitely the most famous, probably him and Ali of all time.
Yeah,
100%. He might be one of the most famous people on the planet.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe Justin Bieber.
Right now.
Yeah,
Justin Bieber.
Remember when he wanted to fight Tom Cruise and it never happened?
What do you guys think about like Logan Paul and these celebrities like getting into boxing?
Bro, you know what the thing is? He's got a fucking legit wrestling background, and I've actually seen him roll with Paulo Costa before that's fighting on the UFC, and he actually looked sharp, bro. He looked quite sharp. Bro. He's quite a well-built lad. I think he does work hard in the gym and stuff. Because also, he's one of those guys that has to look good. He's always on camera and all that stuff. But there's been some exhibitions that have like him and the KSI thing. I think was a bit stupid. It wasn't like the most clean boxing.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him in an octagon, bro, or just any cage, bro. Because I would like to see him wrestle a bit. Because he was a legit high school wrestler at a good level, bro.
I'd like to see fucking Bradley Martin fight. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
So at that KSI Logan Paul the second fight, I think. He got into a fight with that Vitaly, that YouTuber that used to hook up with all these dolls, whatever.
Yeah, he's on a lot of drugs.
And he's sauced to the gills, bro. One day he was skinny. Next minute, fucking. Anyways, but they got into a brawl, like backstage or whatever, and Bradley Martin gave him a fucking hiding. There's actually a video. I wish I could pull it up to the camera. It's fucking. So I would like to see him in the boxing ring.
What happened to those? You said those 2 bodybuilders were gonna throw hands though, weren't they?
The 2 powerlifters.
Yeah, the 2 powerlifters. Yeah. Oh, it's the Mountain
and Eddie Hall. That's gonna be fucking cool, bro. I can't. But that's only like next year September.
It'll be very interesting to see if the Mountain, because if that guy can throw.
It just takes one punch, but also when you Eddie Hall in the Mountain, one punch, you're receiving it the mountain is receiving the punch.
Punch.
You know?
Yeah.
I got punched, maybe land 40 kilometers back. But,
Yeah.
you punch Eddie Hall doesn't move. So it'll be interesting.
I mean, they're heavy fucking human beings, bro.
Yeah, it's all about it's the ones that like you don't see that drop you though. Those are the ones. It's the ones that it's not necessarily taking that damage. It's always like so. That's the thing. It might just be a slugfest of these guys just bashing each other till one drops, or one gets a
like a lucky shot,
overhand or whatever, and he drops it.
Yeah, my prediction: Eddie Hall's gonna beat him, and I know
dude.
it's hard because Thor's so much taller and he's long.
Dude,
that
scares me, bro.
I don't know. I think Eddie Hall's got that little bit of like street fighting back in his day.
I hope he just brings some of his Game of Thrones. He like starts losing the fight and just crushes his face.
But yeah, bro, fuck. It was really like having on the podcast.
Guys, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Jess, thank you for coming all the way. Yeah, dude, we really appreciate it.
It was only 20 minutes.
And please go check out all the Jester Radio. Go check out Jesse on social media, on Instagram. We'll link everything in the description. And yeah, thank you for coming, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No way.
When before we end, by the time before you guys leave, and this has gone, it's the biggest brand in South Africa.
Yeah.
Well, actually, long before then, you need to come on Jester Radio as well.
Okay.
We would love to.
We would love to.
And when it's that big, we'll have to have a Zoom meeting when you're in Canada, you're in Australia.
100%.
And the brands have grown.
I agree, bro. Yeah, and good luck for everything that you fucking doing, bro.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No way.
Cool, guys.